Hello, it's Saturday, January 10th, 2026, in the main news time. First of all, I'll tell you the news of domestic politics. Today, the court postponed a hearing on a plea for former President Yoon Suk Yeol. Prosecutors were scheduled to seek the death penalty or life imprisonment from former President Yoon last year on charges of so-called martial law-related rebellion, but the process was postponed to the 13th. Former President Yoon denies all charges. Meanwhile, the government announced that the foreign exchange market will open 24 hours a day from July this year. The move aims to increase access to foreign investment and include Morgan Stanley Capital International, MSCI's, inclusion in the Advanced Market Index. The authorities said they plan to come up with a phased roadmap for the internationalization of the won. In the field of diplomacy, President Lee Jae-myung will hold a summit with the Japanese Prime Minister in Nagano Prefecture, Japan, for 2 days from the 13th. It is said that the two leaders will discuss regional and global issues. Exchanges between Korea and European countries are also attracting attention in the international community. From the 17th, the Italian Prime Minister will visit South Korea to discuss trade, artificial intelligence, and defense cooperation between the two countries. Here's the domestic economy news. Participants in the Korean stock market are paying attention to the growth forecast for 2026, along with expectations for the won's internationalization. The government forecast economic growth of 2.0% this year, suggesting expanding investment in semiconductors and AI as driving forces for the economy. Social news also continues. A strong cold wave continues around the central region, and snow and rain are predicted everywhere this winter, requiring special attention to the safety of citizens. In the entertainment and culture category, today's 40th Golden Disc Awards ceremony in Taipei Dome is a hot topic. The event, which represents the Korean music industry, will feature top domestic artists. Next up is the world's top news. First, the Middle East news. Authorities have cut off internet access across the country amid widespread anti-government protests in Iran. Protests have continued for weeks on a backdrop of economic hardship and political discontent, with resistance continuing in major cities. In Europe, a person responsible for the incident has been arrested as the victims of the large Swiss bar fire are paid tribute. The fire has caused many casualties, raising the need to strengthen safety regulations. In sports and entertainment, WWE is conducting a Road to Royal Rumble tour starting in the UK. The tour, which takes place in London and Belfast and other cities, is raising expectations from wrestling fans all over the world. Also, the International Cross Country Championships will be held today in Tallahassee, Florida. The competition, which involves world athletes, is organized by World Athletics. We also take a look at the world's major economic news. In global financial markets, policies for growth and stabilization are underway in several countries. In particular, tax issues and corporate restructuring news from major banks are affecting the global stock market. The U.S. Supreme Court has decided not to make a judgment on the Trump administration's mutual tariff policy on the same day. The decision is expected to have a certain impact on the U.S. and international trade environment. Here's the international culture news. The genre's global influence is drawing attention as K-pop artists are nominated for major Grammys this year. It is of considerable significance for K-pop works to compete at this awards, traditionally centered on the American music market. Lastly, this is the news of international sports and events. The 2026 World Mixed Double Curling qualifying event will be held in Dumfries, Scotland, with various national teams competing over its long history. So far, January 10th, 2026 was the main news at home and abroad. Next, we will inform you of the weather and living information. Snow or rain clouds will pass across the country with a cold wave today, especially in central and mountainous areas. Please pay attention to safety when you go out. Thank you for watching so far. I'll come back to you with accurate and prompt news tomorrow. Subscribe and like give a big boost to accurate news production. Thank you.